Bushone and Ward also in the top 5 as we get set for the main event. The fans are on their feet here at Texas Stadium as the 32nd board is up. Bushone, Wyndham, McGrath, Tortelli, Carmichael, Albertine with our helmet cam. Let's take a look at Jeremy McGrath as the gate drops, and we are underway from Dallas, Texas. A great start by Ricky Carmichael on the inside, getting across the chalk line for the $1,000 is Kevin Wyndham.
Well, that is tight. Lusk is at the back of the pack.
It's Wyndham holding on to the lead against John Dowd and RC. Next it is Bushone, and then Heath Voss, the privateer, and Tim Ferry, the top privateer on the year. And then Team Suzuki, Larry Ward, and Jeff Albertine.
McGrath, to the best of my, for what I can tell right now, it looks like he's running 11th. Lusk is right behind him in 12th, and Emig went off the racetrack in the second corner and is dead last.
Greg Albertine dropping back as Wyndham now starts to pull a little bit of the lead on John Dowd.
What an advantage for Wyndham right now. Not only did he ride flawless in his heat race and practice, but to get the whole shot while his toughest competitors are buried in the pack. And to make it even sweeter, he's got John Dowd behind him, who's not feeling 100% right now. So by the time those guys work their way around John, if they can, it should give a pretty good lead to Kevin.
How many times did you feel great in practice, David Bailey, and you just went out and did it? As adverse to those times where, you know, you weren't up to par in the main.
Not enough, Art. Not enough. But there were times. It goes both ways.
Well, Kevin Wyndham with a 2-second lead has looked both great in practice and great at the start of the main event. As we're just about to finish the second lap of this race. 20 laps for the 250 riders. John Dowd a distant second. Mikel Bushone third. Ricky Carmichael fourth. Larry Ward fifth. Tim Ferry is in sixth spot with Steve Lapson in seventh. Jeremy McGrath is in eighth position with Jeff Albertine right behind him with the helmet cam on.
Dowd still hanging on to second. There you can see Albertine's look.
There you see Jeremy McGrath, Albertine right behind him.
They're approaching that huge double. There you can see that chalk line. That was for the whole shot. Down that whoop straightaway into the triple. McGrath is moving up, but Kevin Wyndham is moving out. He is just stretching his lead even more.
Well, now, even though McGrath is quite a ways behind our leaders, the second and third points leaders aren't anywhere in sight either.
No, McGrath, in terms of the points, is looking good. The only rider that's really making up any points on him is Bushone and Larry Ward right now. They're just right ahead of him. McGrath.
Jeremy's up to 7th, while LaRocco is in 14th. LaRocco second in the points in the 250s.
Watch Kevin. Just perfect, smooth power delivery. You see he sits down on the face of that jump. He'll sit down again right here as he accelerates. It's a lot more traction. You see Bushone standing up.
58.3 for Wyndham, David.
Yeah, they've cranked it up a notch. They've been just under a minute.
John Dowd, Mikel Bushone. That'll be a battle for second as LaRocco still in 14th and Lusk is in 12th.
Yeah, Lusk is having a really tough time trying to get through the pack.
There's your top 5 on the screen right now.
2 laps ago, McGrath was in 11th, just ahead of Lusk, and he's been able to pick off all these riders. Lusk is still stuck in the pack. He's gotten around his teammate Tortelli, but I'm surprised with Dowd. It's unbelievable. The guy comes in here just feeling terrible, and he's still holding off Bushone. Carmichael makes a mistake, launches the bike just behind these guys. Bushone takes advantage of...
Carmichael went down. So Carmichael's out of the picture right now. You see him just restarting and getting back on the track.
What happened, Art, was he came into the corner, he squared it, he ran into a tough box, and then he was trying to get going, and the bike just took out from underneath him. He just stood there in shock, like, what did I do wrong?
More bad luck for RC. Here's Mikel Bushone, now in second place. So it's Bushone in second, Dowd in third, Ward in fourth, and McGrath has moved into the top 5 with Tim Ferry and Albertine behind him.
At this point in the race, I think this is the biggest lead we've seen all year. Kevin is gone. He can crash and get up and still be in the lead.
Carmichael trying to recover from one of the worst days of his career last week in Atlanta.
Now, I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself. He's been the man in his whole career. And now he's just another one of the boys.
Kevin Windham.
Oh, Carmichael goes down hard. A tough box got knocked in front of him. There you see, he landed up on top of a plateau, and there was a tough box right there. There was nothing he could do about it. It actually spun in front of him while he was in the air. And he landed on his side on the face of this next jump.
So Ricky Carmichael, who started this year with people thinking he might be a contender in his rookie season in 250s, like Jeremy McGrath was back in 1993, has fallen on hard times. Right now, Kevin Windham, number 14, is looking for his second win of the season. Will he hold on? Will he make a mistake? Can Jeremy McGrath catch up? All those questions to be answered when we come back. Welcome back to Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Our 250 main event. This is the halfway point of the season, and all of a sudden Kevin Windham has decided, hey, I'm where I belong, out front.
Well, I think last week was just unfortunate that he got a bad start. Kind of got hung up in the pack, but he was riding well. And he just wants to come back and prove that Tampa was what Kevin Windham is all about. You can see he's wheeling over one bump through that whoop section there that's sending everybody up in the air. So he's able to keep his forward momentum a lot better and still pulling away from the pack. That last lap was a 57, so he's even cranked it up another notch.
How did Ricky Carmichael get into trouble? Well, he went down for the second time and is probably thinking that black cloud is still over my head here at Texas Stadium.
And that was an accident. That obviously, the first time, from what I could see, it looked like he was trying to do something a little bit extra. But the second time, one of those hay bale tough boxes got knocked out right in front of him. Bad luck.
Kevin Windham won here on the 125s back in 1997. As we take a look at Mikel Pichon currently in second. Neither Windham nor Pichon have won here in Dallas before. That would just add to the tradition of the fact that we said earlier that in 19 previous races, we've had 14 different winners, one of which was our own David Bailey.
And Dowd still back behind Pichon here. Pichon doesn't seem to be able to carve into that lead of Windham, but he is pulling away slightly from this battle. There you see McGrath starting to close in on Larry Ward, but not as fast as I thought he would.
That's the battle for fourth. With Dowd in third, Ward in fourth, and McGrath in fifth. Ferry has dropped back of McGrath and is not pressuring him in the sixth spot. But that would be his best finish if he can hold off Albertine.
Ward has had some great rides here in Dallas. Putting in another one right now. Even if Jeremy gets around him, he's still in fourth. Well, that would drop him.
Well, he's probably had more races than any other rider has ever had.
LaRocco has problems.
LaRocco going down, tangled up with another rider on the far side.
With the same section. Oh, he's tangled with Lusk.
Ezra Lusk? Yes.
He doesn't even
Lusk
know.
Can't find his bike.
It was the same section where Carmichael had his problems. And there you can see something hanging from Lusk's handlebars. His bike is pretty beat up. I don't know if he's even going to be able to get back out there. I think it's the clutch lever broken off right down here.
So Lusk in 10th and LaRocco in 11th all of a sudden collide. The Connection Honda and the Team Honda, and let's see if Lusk can even finish the race. Boy, what a DNF would be disastrous to the points race for Lusk.
He's not even getting started. He can't put the bike in gear because he's got no clutch lever. He's just stalled it trying to take off.
Windham, Pichon, Dowd, Ward, McGrath, our top five with Ferry and Albee, 6 and 7. There's Larry Ward, number 7, Team Suzuki. You mentioned about Ward. His best, of course, was that hole shot and led 18 to the 20 laps for the victory, his third career victory in Seattle. Dowdy's coming off his best 250 race since he won the 250 victory in Charlotte last year. He took a second last week in Atlanta. And he's trying to hold on for a third and hit that podium again.
As we watch McGrath taking his time, now I can see it's a halfway point. There's Lusk. He is out. The clutch lever is broken off the handlebars. The handlebar is bent down. He can't even get started. So he is going to DNF this race. And what probably McGrath's greatest asset is that he can stay out of trouble. He can get a bad start just like everybody else. He and Lusk were right together in that first lap. But somehow McGrath is able to steer clear of the problems out there and just pad that points lead.
Our leader, Kevin Windham, is about to lap another former Supercross winner and a former champion, Jeff Emig. So it is still Windham and Pichon, 1 and 2. McGrath starting to pick up the action now on Larry Ward. McGrath has never finished out of the top 4 here in Dallas. Jeremy cutting to the inside, but Ward getting a lot of torque going wide. And we've got Dowd, Ward, and McGrath just bang, bang, bang.
You know, Jeremy's goal really each week, even if he gets the whole shot, it's to finish on the podium. If he gets a bad start, finish on the podium. I've talked with Skip Norfolk, and they work on that a lot. It's consistency. It's when you don't win, it's limiting the damage. I lost the Supercross title to Rick Johnson. I had the same amount of wins, but when I didn't win, I was 4th. When he didn't win, he got 2nd.
Oh, Ward passes Dowdy. Look out. Jeremy McGrath mixed wheels with Dowd.
He came right out of the corner, ran right smack into the back of him.
And here's McGrath trying to take advantage of Dowdy. Dowdy's not willing to give it up, though. John Dowd.
That's where Jeremy's patient. He could have gone in there and made that pass. He would have caused both these guys to have maybe go down.
Doesn't want to end up like Lusk, though.
Yeah, he just shoved John Dowd right off the racetrack. So he just ducked his shoulder, let him jump back ahead of him. He knows there's time left. They're passing Grayson Goodman, the local favorite from Dallas. I am so impressed with knowing how bad that John Dowd fell. To come in here and put in a performance like this. Larry Ward, too. Larry Ward's gunning for his 3rd podium of the season and his 2nd. 3rd place finish in a row. It's Windham, Pichon, Ward, Dowd, and McGrath are top 5, with Albie behind McGrath quite a ways. Let's go down to Marty Reed.
Well, guys, you were mentioning Larry Ward. Remember, this track is very similar to Tampa in its consistency, and Ward had a terrible night there, but that was because he could not make that one triple jump. One of the things he reminded us today that he didn't really care for our pointing that out to all the viewers at home. But from the standpoint of where he's at right now, he is running the best race on this hard pack that he has all year long.
Oh, and while that was going on, a back and forth battle between Dowd and McGrath. Jeremy taking a few chances there to get by him, David.
Well, it looked like he was.
He was pretty squirrely at one point.
In that battle, he's lost a lot of time now to Larry Ward, so he's got to make up about 2-3 seconds almost to catch back up to Larry Ward, who's currently holding on to that podium spot. And Larry is not that far behind Pichon, who seemed to be running all alone in 2nd. That's not, I don't think that's in the books just yet.
McGrath, Dowd, Albie, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
That section leading up to the main groove, leading up to the triple there, just looks like all this hard pack has been packed down even more. All the loose stuff is off the top. It's a blue groove.
A 10-second lead for Windham over Pichon. 5 seconds back to Ward, and a similar 5 seconds back to Jeremy McGrath. Let's go trackside.
Down here with Randy Lawrence, Jeremy McGrath's mechanic. He's in 4th place. We're running out of laps. You're telling him to breathe, but he's got to hustle.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get him to breathe so his arms don't pump up or something like that. He was right on Larry. Larry ended up getting by Dowd first, and Jeremy ran into Dowd and lost a little bit of time. So we just needed him to breathe and relax, and maybe he can catch back up.
Do you think he realizes that both Ezra and Mike LaRocco were down and are way back behind him?
I don't know. They were sitting on the track when he went by. I'm not sure if he saw the numbers or not. So at this point, I don't know if he knows or not.
Doesn't make any difference, guys. He's trying to catch 3rd.
Well, Randy could signal him that if he wanted to, but I don't think it's that important. That just wrecks your concentration. Just have Jeremy go out and do what he's done all season long. It doesn't matter what everybody else does.
Yeah, it's not a matter of a win. It's a matter of saving your points and not giving them right back.
This is going to be one of those races for Kevin. It's just so boring. He's going to be like Where was everybody, and why was this so easy? The same thing happened to Jeremy last week. He got the whole shot, and other than a little bit of pressure from Ward early on, it was an easy race, and it was a huge battle behind him for everybody, scrapping, riders going down, carrying bruises around all week, while Jeremy's just going, I don't see what the problem was. It's going to be one of those nights for Kevin Windham.
Lee McCullough concerned about his rider, Larry Ward, right now.
That's because he is losing time pretty fast to Jeremy right now.
Number 1 right behind him now.
I think if I was Larry Ward, I would do all that I could to try to go with Jeremy. Let that pressure elevate his pace a little bit, and hopefully that'll carry him up to Pichon. So even if McGrath makes a pass, he can maybe make a pass on Pichon and still hold on to a podium spot.
Larry Ward started the year off in Anaheim with an 18th. And he said goodbye to such a poor finish with an 8th, a 6th, and then his 3rd career win in Seattle, a 5th, a 9th, and a 3rd then in Atlanta in the last race. That consistency after the 18th start has put him in the top 5 in points once again.
Now he's going to get a big boost here tonight with the problems of Morocco and Ezra Lusk. They're only going to score 2 or 3 points at best. What a major blow to Team Honda trying to regain the Supercross title. Good night for Kevin, but it's probably in deep down are hoping that was Ezra Lusk out there getting all those points back on Jeremy.
Here's the battle for second now that's starting to form up as Larry Ward has been making some time on Mikel Pichon. And Jeremy McGrath is very confident, patient, settling in behind Ward.
You know, it's the presence of McGrath can change the shape of this whole race, and it just has. It has forced Larry Ward to get aggressive, put pressure on Pichon. Now McGrath can take advantage of these guys. Three-way battle now for second.
A tight three-way battle, I suspect, when we come out of this corner. We've got 5 laps to go in the 20-lap race.
I've talked about this before. This is what's happened to Pichon. He got out there in second, was all by himself, figured, oh, this must be a good pace. Nobody's catching me. And all of a sudden, McGrath shows up, pushes Ward, the pace picks up. Now Pichon has to adjust to that. Some guys can do it, some can't. We'll find out if he can.
Pichon has won a 125 race here in Dallas, but he was 13th in his only 250 race here last year. He's been an improved rider since joining Team Honda. There's no question about that. Here comes Jeremy McGrath making a move on Larry Ward. Ward with good positioning now.
Yeah, that's just good sportsmanship right there. Larry Ward had every opportunity to park Jeremy out there in the tough boxes, and Jeremy was just on the brakes right there. Stay on the racetrack going, please leave me some room, and he did. That's just respect.
Mike Jodorowsky didn't give Jeremy any room here in the last lap in Dallas, Texas. As their bikes went flying, Jeremy did a helicopter in the air, and Mike Larocco would win that race.
It's not enjoyable to be in a battle with guys that you can't really trust. And you can trust all these 3 guys right here. They know that you make a little mistake out there and don't give a rider next to you a little bit of room, he could end up injured.
Kevin Windham is light years away as the laps keep ticking off.
As they go down the straightaway, they can see Kevin going the other way.
Here's Larry Ward to the inside. He gets a nice clean block pass. But look it out. McGrath is on the outside. The crowd comes alive. Here comes Pichon boxing out McGrath. And Larry Ward gets a big boost out of that. John Dowd now bar to bar with Jeremy.
And John Dowd all of a sudden back in this picture.
Final lap. Sorry, David.
I can't believe John Dowd just snuck right back in there.
I'll tell you, he's got to be exhausted after this race. 102 temperature yesterday.
It's just so much fun, though, to be in the race.
How many times in any sport have you seen a player have the flu or something come out in an NBA game with a magnificent performance?
You ride more relaxed because you don't have as much pressure on yourself.
McGrath battling with Pichon. This is for third. This is for the podium. McGrath very aggressive in his moves now.
Well, this is where Pichon lost all of his time before. He jumps into the corner, gets a little bit of room on Jeremy.
Jeremy's taking the inside line through those whoops. There's Kevin Windham. Kevin Windham. The checkered flag. And for Windham, as we watch the battle behind him, what a race. It's too bad we didn't have more time to talk about the brilliant performance of Kevin Windham.
Well, right behind Kevin, Jeremy and Pichon were having words. I don't think Jeremy appreciated that little block pass, extra block that Pichon put on him, but it worked.
And Larry Ward improves his performance of last week, staying on the podium, but this time in second place. For Kevin Windham, his second win of the year, his 5th career victory. A tremendous win for number 14 of Team Honda. We'll be back as Jeremy and Kevin talk to each other and congratulate each other right after these words. On selected models and by Honda Motorcycles, cruise in and get great financing on Honda Customs. The points leader, Jeremy McGrath, on the 1999 season and a former 2-time winner here at Dallas, Texas, leaves not a happy camper. As we